Hi everyone, it's Alyssa and this is Always Cinema Chic. Today I just wanted to give my reaction to the 2018 Golden Globe Awards, just for the films, not for the TV shows. I don't feel like I'm well versed enough in the TV shows to have like much of a reaction, but considering I've read up on almost all of these movies, I feel like I definitely have a reaction to the film department. So forgive me, I'm gonna have to look down so that I can see who's nominated for each category, and then I will give you my reaction. But my overall reaction, like my first gut reaction, was I can't say that I'm surprised that Blade Runner 2049 didn't get nominated, probably because it did so poorly in the box office, but it still hurt. It was still a huge sting to not see Denis Villeneuve nominated, to not see the film nominated. I really did think it would get some kind of a notice, but it really broke my heart that it didn't get anything. It didn't even get best score. So to me, it just shows everything that is wrong with these award shows, that there are just movies like The Post that are just automatically going to get in. It has, no reason whether it's a good film or not. It's just Tom Hanks, Meryl Streep, directed by Steven Spielberg. So obviously it's going to get a nomination for best everything, and it did. And I knew that, and I don't know why I get angry, but I just think like, well, this year maybe they'll get a few right. But I can say, I do think that they got a few right. Now, unfortunately, a lot of these movies, they haven't even come out yet in my areas. So they're starting to, things like The Shape of Water, Disaster Artist, they're in movie theaters that are, over an hour away from where I live. So I feel that by this Friday, I'm gonna have reviews for a lot of these films. I'm so excited. I have off next week so that I can actually see all of these films that are nominated. But for Best Picture Drama, we have Call Me By Your Name, Dunkirk, The Post, The Shape of Water, and Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Now, obviously, I saw Dunkirk and I saw Three Billboards, and I absolutely love those films. Those are by far some of the best films that I've seen all year, and I was just so happy to see those nominated. I knew they were gonna get nominated, but it was still nice to see it. I can't wait for The Shape of Water to come out. That should be out in my area this Friday, and I haven't seen it yet, but do you know when you just know you're going to love a movie? Like, I walked into Blade Runner 2049, I just knew I was going to love it. I have that same feeling with The Shape of Water. I also can't wait to see Call Me By Your Name, because I've heard such wonderful things about that, but that also is not playing in any movie theaters in my area. So I think we have some good ones there, minus The Post. But like I said, it's totally predictable, but it eats up a spot of another film that could have gone in there, that deserves to go in there. Obviously I haven't seen The Post either, but I have been reading reviews for it, and all the reviews are just like, it's good, it's okay, Chris Stuckman gave it a B, The New Yorker gave it a good review, but not a great review. So to me, this isn't the kind of film that should be nominated for Best Picture. It's just who's in it. It gets that automatic nomination, and it is so frustrating to me. So next is Best Performance by an Actress in a Motion Picture Drama, and that's Jessica Chastain for Molly's Game, Sally Hawkins for The Shape of Water, Frances McDormand for Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, Meryl Streep, of course, for The Post, and then Michelle Williams for All the Money in the World, which is a really funny nomination considering this movie is, I'm sure still being edited at this moment, considering they had to take out Kevin Spacey and put in Christopher Plummer. But I'm so excited to see Jessica Chastain. She's one of my favorite actresses. Sally Hawkins looks like she is incredible in this, and then Frances McDormand was just stellar in Three Billboards. So I can't wait to see what happens with that race. I could say the only ones I'm not super excited about would be Meryl Streep and Michelle Williams. I like her, but just seeing what this film was about, it didn't hit me like it, would necessarily get all of these awards. So The next one is Best Performance by an Actor in a Motion Picture Drama, and that's Timothée Chalamet, I hope I said his name right, for Call Me By Your Name, Daniel Day-Lewis for Phantom Thread, then Tom Hanks, of course, for The Post, Gary Oldman for Darkest Hour, and then Denzel Washington for Roman J. It's Israel. I had definitely not seen that film. That film, I think that was one of the more surprising nominations for me because the film got pretty poor reviews. I don't know what his reviews were for his performance, but the film itself didn't get very good reviews. Not shocking that Tom Hanks got nominated, but I'm so hopeful that he's not going to win. Really interesting that Timothée, I want to say his name right, Chalamet, did get nominated because he's such a young actor, but I've seen him in so many interviews. He's very well spoken. I saw him in Lady Bird and he was great in that. I've seen him in so many small independent films and he definitely is an actor to look out for. So I'm very excited for that one. And of course, Daniel Day-Lewis in what is presumably his last role. I hope not. I love him, and I thought the film looked really interesting, but it didn't get any other nominations, which makes me wonder how great the film is. Maybe his performance is great, but maybe the film is, good. And then next would be Best Motion Picture for Musical or Comedy. So it's The Disaster Artist, Get Out, The Greatest Showman, I, Tonya, and Lady Bird. So I've seen Get Out and I've seen Lady Bird, and those were two excellent films. I really loved Get Out so much. I'm waiting for The Disaster Artist and I, Tonya. I'm so excited for those. So I was just really excited for the comedies. They seem like they are, obviously Get Out is not a comedy. It's a movie that has funny moments. I don't think they knew where to put it. They thought if they put it in the drama category, then it won't get nominated, but if they put it in the comedy, it will. So I think that's sort of how they chose it. But it is its own movie and it's very different, and I enjoyed that film so much. And then you have Best Actress by Best Actress for a Comedy, and that's Judi Dench for Victoria and Abdul, Helen Mirren for The Leisure Seeker. I've never even heard of that movie. Margot Robbie for I, Tonya, then Saoirse Ronan for Lady Bird, and then Emma Stone for Battle of the Sexes. With this one, I think there's going to be a clear winner with Saoirse Ronan. Her performance is definitely the standout of that entire movie. That was my favorite part of the movie was her performance. I am really excited to see Margot Robbie because I think she is going to be hysterical as Tonya Harding. So I'm really excited for that one, but I feel like Saoirse Ronan kind of has this one in the bag because she's not going up against like a Frances McDormand or a Jessica Chastain or, so I really think she's going to win this one. And then there's Best Performance by an Actor in a Comedy, and that's Steve Carell in Battle of the Sexes, Ansel Elgort for Baby Driver, James Franco for The Disaster Artist, and then Hugh Jackman for The Greatest Showman, and then Daniel Kaluuya for Get Out. And I think this is another really great group of people. I'm so excited for Daniel Kaluuya. I thought he was outstanding in that movie, and he's such a wonderful, underrated actor to begin with. But I also, not a huge fan of James Franco, but every trailer I see just makes me want to see The Disaster Artist. So, I think he's actually deserving of it. And then for Best Motion Picture Animated, so excited. There's Baby Boss, The Breadwinner, Coco, Ferdinand, Loving Vincent, and you guys all know how much I loved Coco. This was definitely one of the best Pixar movies for me, so I'm just so excited to see it there. And then the foreign language films are A Fantastic Woman from Chile, First They Killed My Father from Cambodia, In the Fade from Germany and France, Loveless from Russia, and then The Square, which is Sweden, Germany, and France. And so the only film that I'm going to have access to by the time that the awards actually come out would be the First They Killed My Father, because that's on Netflix, so I'm definitely going to watch that before the Golden Globes come out. And then you have the supporting actress, and we have Mary J. Blige in Mudbound, and then Hong Chow in Downsizing, Allison Janney in I, Tonya, Laurie Metcalf in Lady Bird, and Octavia Spencer in The Shape of Water. And this reminded me that the movie Downsizing was, you know, eligible to be nominated, and it only got this one nomination, and I was so excited. I still am very excited to see it. I love Alexander Payne. All of his movies are just so funny, I think, but it's a little surprising that it didn't even get nominated in any of the comedy avenues. So I just, it makes me a little hesitant that it didn't get nominated for those. So like the only other ones I've seen here was Laurie Metcalf in Lady Bird, and she really is so deserving of it. As the mother, I predicted she would get nominated because she really, it was such a realistic portrayal. And then Best Actor in a supporting role for a motion picture, Willem Dafoe for The Florida Project, which I so wanted to see, but it was never released in my area. Armie Hammer for Call Me By Your Name, Richard Jenkins for The Shape of Water, Christopher Plummer for All the Money in the World, and Sam Rockwell for 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. I said I wanted him to get nominated, and I'm just so happy that he did. He is so deserving of this nomination. I really want him to win. I mean, I haven't seen all the other performances, but I just loved him in it. But I did also hear that William Dafoe was excellent in The Florida Project, so I'm very excited to see that as well. So surprising. I mean, maybe not surprising that Christopher Plummer got nominated for Best Supporting Actor. It's almost like we're commending you, Ridley Scott, for getting rid of Kevin Spacey and putting in Christopher Plummer, and so now we're going to give him the nomination, and you the nomination, and Michelle Williams the nomination. So, you know, it's just all so fast to think that a person, you know, could take a role and you know, construct it in just the matter of a couple of weeks and create the character, whereas some actors take months and months and months and months, you know, working on their character. He really didn't have that choice here. So interesting, and I'm very interested to see his performance, although I love Christopher Plummer. He's incredible. So, and then for Best Director, there is Guillermo del Toro for The Shape of Water. Mark McDonagh, so happy for that, for 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Christopher Nolan, my favorite, for Dunkirk. And then Ridley Scott, like I said before, All the Money in the World. And of course, Steven Spielberg for The Post. So I'm really excited for 3 of the 5. I'm very excited for The Shape of Water, and like I said, 3 Billboards was just such an awesome movie, and Dunkirk, you know, he's done so many incredible films. I don't know if I can say Dunkirk is the best film that Christopher Nolan's ever made, but it's certainly the easiest for, you know, not an Academy member, but the International Foreign Press. It's certainly one of the easier movies for them to vote for. I don't know if everyone would feel comfortable voting him for Best Director for like a Batman movie, even though he's deserving of it. But then we have Best Screenplay, so Guillermo del Toro and Vanessa Taylor for The Shape of Water, Greta Gerwig for Lady Bird, I'm so happy for that, Liz Hannah and Josh Singer for the Post, Mark McDonagh, 3 Billboards, and then Aaron Sorkin for Molly's Game. So we only saw 2 awards for Molly's Game with the writing and with the acting for Jessica Chastain. That's sort of what I predicted, that's what I thought it was going to be. Also kind of strange that Greta Gerwig got the writing nom, but she didn't get the nomination for Best Director, so maybe they were doing this as sort of like a runner-up prize, not really sure. And then for score, there was 3 Billboards, Shape of Water, Phantom Thread, The Post, Dunkirk. I haven't seen Shape of Water. I'm sure that's a great soundtrack, great score, but I really loved Dunkirk because, like I've said in my review, that score just pushed the movie forward in all the right ways, and I was just obsessed with it. And then for Best Original Song, we have Home, which is from Ferdinand, Mighty River from Mudbound, Remember Me from Coco. Obviously, I hope that one wins. The Star from The Star, and then This Is Me from The Greatest Showman. So that is all for the movie nominations. I'm so excited. I believe it is January 7th, so I will be watching and doing a reaction for the winners when that comes out. So please let me know what you think about all of this. You know, did they miss anyone besides Blade Runner 2049? What were some other films that really should have gotten noticed but maybe didn't get noticed? Or which ones do you think shouldn't have gotten noticed that did? Like, I am so firm that The Post know should not be nominated. I don't need to see it to know that it shouldn't be nominated, but do you feel that passionately about any movies here as well? So thank you guys so much for watching, and remember, it is always in fashion to stay in, get dressed up, and make it a cinema chic night. Bye guys!